Welcome. This podcast is a series of candid conversations exploring the human experience from a completely new perspective. In it, we will be diving deeply into the meaning of commonly used words and pointing you away from that old stressful way of looking at life and towards a new paradigm. This will help you find a sense of calm, cultivate meaningful relationships, and create harmony in every aspect of your life. Here is Navigating Life with Ease with Michaela, Ellis and Clare, Downham. Hello.
Good day. How are you, Clare?
I am good. Yes.
Good.
Very good. How are you?
I'm well. And I have a word for us to explore.
Cool.
Well, actually two. Making time.
Now then, I don't know where to go with that one, because you can't do that, can you? It's the first thing that comes to mind when you say making time is, you can't do that. But we use that phrase, don't we, to mean, I guess it's about the things we're avoiding, not making time to do. And I think the time always exists, really. Like, it's there, isn't it? But we can do other things instead of the things we really... I'm going to shudify us now, but that we should be. Or even that, like, what's coming to mind is that once you've got something that you really feel passionate about, like your authentic thing, I feel like that's a current that's moving you forward through life, and that, now I'll go do a bit of this and I'll do a bit of that. We're kind of following that intuitively led sort of flow, and then that little tinker of a voice in our head distracts us from that. That's there. I feel like that's there all the time. And we all know kind of, we sometimes know when we're doing it, don't we? When we're just avoiding, I suppose, really showing up how we would like to, really doing what we would like to do. Because that voice in our head is just trying to keep us safe all the time. So it says there's not enough time. And I have to make time to do that thing. Well, the time is probably there. I find that when I've got like a busy-ish day. Today's quite a busy day. There's quite a lot of little appointments and things that I think, I haven't really, I'm working on a couple of landing pages and things at the moment, and I haven't really got time to, look at my day. And actually, if that's what I focus on, if I think to myself, right, in between the appointments, I'm going to do 5 minutes on this thing and just do another little bit of it, it will probably get done. But if I kind of go, it's only 5 minutes, I'll just scroll on my phone, or I'll just do something else, then I can easily get distracted and end up not doing the thing that really, in my heart, is the thing I want to do. And sometimes, actually, that makes those things a little bit easier for me, because then it isn't just, right, this is the next. Like, for example, I'm building this web page. I've had some feedback from somebody else, and now I'm listening to their feedback and just doing the suggestion. They've made some great suggestions, so I'm kind of putting those suggestions, and it is with just one little bit at a time. Make this text narrower on the page, make a video for here. They are all just little jobs that I can do in and amongst the other things. And I think kind of when you go into, your time management, which again is a phrase I'm not really keen on, because we don't really mean time management, we mean self-management. we can't manage time, but we can manage ourselves a little bit better, maybe. You can get really tangly. I just think we'll find a reason why we can't do a thing if we're listening to the voice in our head that says, you really shouldn't be doing that thing. You're not good enough, or you're not quite there, or you're not where you should be. that voice can, like, obviously I talk about the inner critic doing a knowing journey. That inner critic is so clever at convincing us by sounding really sensible. Oh, you know, you really do have to make time for this thing. But then look at how busy you are. You're so busy. You haven't really got time for that thing. You've got far too much going on. And, you know, just do the other things, you know, because there's something there that, bless the inner critic and its funny little ways, but it's something there that we want to be protected from in some way. That voice is a protective voice. It means well, but it gets in the way. But yeah, that's my first little kind of ponderings on that. I'd love to know why that came up for you, or whatever else you want to say about it.
Yeah. Well, I'll speak first to, or just respond to, yeah, it, you know, it always starts with what's going on in your head, with what the voices in your head are telling you, or guiding you to, or poking at you, or pushing, or, you know, how, whatever experience you have of it. And it came because, you know, it's early morning here, and Rob and I are leaving together, going out, right? And there's a time frame that to do all these things. and you know, there was an embrace, and then it's like, you know, okay, we'll make some time for us to actually connect, because we haven't, it's just been busy. So it's like, wow, how are you? What, you know? So I said about making time, and it's like, oh, and that's a choice. Like it all kind of boils down to, it's like, what are you prioritizing? Right? What are you choosing? You're choosing something over something else. And and that's what we do. I mean, we live on this material plane. There is time, and we fit our lives into some of it, and some we don't have to. Like, we get to even choose that, right? I choose to line up a time to come and meet with you, and do this. And there are some things that I could if I wanted to, but I don't have to. It would be a choice. But even in all of that, like when you think about your day-to-day life, and that's what I was thinking about, all the things about getting ready to go in the morning, what I do to get ready, you know, at the end of the day, and for the next day, even, or tidying up. There's always something that is either like, it's like, how do I say? I just had this little vision, not time blocks, but kinda. There's a time where Rob and I are going to be in the car together. And there's a time where we're going to be on the train together. And then there's a time where we're going to be walking. And then a time at the end of the day when we're going to connect again, right? And then there's a time where we're going to make a meal and have it. So it is almost like these little things, but in and amongst there is these choices. And I just kind of saw that, yeah, that making time, it's just a bunch of BS. And it's really about making a choice. And where do the choices in how you spend your time, which is another phrase we could get into, it really, how your experience of it is either feeling good or feeling a little, you know, scratchy. And if it's feeling good, it's likely because you're following what your heart, your soul, your inner wisdom, whatever you want to call it, is guiding you to. And when I said these words this morning about making time, when I hear it and even feel it in that moment, because I was in a hurry, it was obligation. And it's like, no, and that doesn't feel good. Obligation didn't really feel good in this respect, in this particular moment. It's a very, you know, what I know though is I enjoy spending time with him. And when I let all the rest fall away and I'm just with him, it's like that. If I'm going to make time, it's like I want to make time. Like, I'm going to change the words a bit and say it almost feels like making space, like clearing the deck. And it's like, here we go. Now we can just be together and, you know, talking, whatever, going for a walk, bike riding, whatever. Yeah, but it was interesting. There's so much tied up in time, you know, making it, obligation, choices, preferences. I went to a talk about time. It wasn't exactly about time, but there was someone who said he was listening to this person. She was his client, talking about how she didn't have time to work out in the morning, and then she didn't have time to have a proper lunch or whatever it was. And then he said, I'd like you to tell me about your day again. And instead of saying I didn't have time, say I prioritized, and then say what you chose to do instead. And it's like, oh, that was a really interesting, very interesting experiment. Because when I did that for my day, it's like, ooh, that's telling. And that doesn't feel so good. And that's not following, you know, the deeper wisdom connection that I have. It's not following that. And I can tell because it feels sticky or heavy or, yeah. And it could also be just the thinking about it, that I have sticky or heavy thinking about it. Maybe it is what I'm being guided to do, but I'm avoiding it because I'm afraid, or that kind of thing. I'm getting that inner critic that you talk about. So it's kind of it's a funny dance, isn't it, throughout our day and time?
All
Yeah.
yeah.
All the time.
All the time. I think that's one of the things I notice with a lot of the people that I work with who've perhaps come into this 3 principles conversation and heard the thing about the good feeling, you know, following the good feeling is a phrase that's often shared amongst, you know, people in the 3 principles community particularly. And the issue with that is that the little bit that's missed is that as you move towards the good feeling, often that is going to take you to the edge of your zone of growth or your comfort zone, whatever you want to call it. And the inner critic is stood there with a big spear going, no, you don't you dare come over here. This is not safe. And that's not our authentic, that's not authentic expression of us. That's our thinking that's saying, don't come over here. You know, and then we don't feel good. And I think a lot of people then go, oh, no, well, I can't do that then because it doesn't feel good. Missing the fact that it's our thinking about the action that's then come up. And I think Dominic Scafidi expressed it, he just called it the predictable BS. You know, literally, that is going to happen. That is going to happen as you move towards authentically speaking your truth, authentically kind of showing up wherever that is in the world that you want to show. It could be in a relationship, in a business, wherever. Yeah, you are going to butt up against the predictable BS of your inner critic that says, no, stay in your little box, little tiny safe box. Don't come out, don't step out, and don't say that, don't share that, don't put that out there. And then, of course, again, like I said before, then using the time thing as, oh, well, you haven't really got time, or you haven't, you know, but like you said, it's a choice. I like that. I like what you said about that coach who said to his client, yeah, just flip the script on that, flip the perspective on, you know, I didn't have time. Well, you had the time, but you chose to do something that wasn't aligned with, well, it sounds like self-care and not criticizing burnout in that particular person's case. And that's another one, isn't it? That's so easy to not prioritize, is care of the body, and prioritize the busyness. And a lot of people I work with are high achievers, and they will prioritize everything over looking after themselves, to the point of really getting quite sick without kind of realizing that there's a different way to do things. With that, I mean, and of course, I'm speaking about myself because I burnt out, didn't I? So I totally did that one to death. I would have said, I haven't got time for this, I haven't got time for that, I haven't got time for the other, as I, fed my kids pasta every night because I didn't have time to cook, apparently. Is it really pasta again, Mum? They used to say. All I could manage, a jar of sauce from the shop and a bag of pasta was my limit. But yeah, it's so easy to believe. Well, it's just so easy to believe what we believe, isn't it? Like, it's not something. Bruce and I we often chat about the weather, but we were chatting really deeply about beliefs today, and just, you believe what you believe until you don't believe it. And so in that moment when we choose, apparently, to not prioritize our health or not put ourselves on our business, there's something deeply key there about compassion, that we really are believing what we're believing in that moment. And until we don't believe that anymore, we will continue to run that script and do that behavior or not do that behavior, or prioritize one thing over another, because that's what we believe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one thing to see it, and if you can just choose something different. But it does sometimes an understanding, like a flipping of words, like, this is this, you can see that, and just like shifting over here and looking at it from this perspective, like I don't have time, or instead I prioritized, or I chose this. It really sort of, it brings some kind of clarity, and then you have a choice. It's like, oh, it's kind of like, it's getting real with yourself. It's like seeing what's there, like eyes wide open, look at it all. You don't have to go digging down and see what's happened over the years since but maybe those things will come up. Be open to seeing how if something's not, if you're noticing that something isn't, you never have time for something, but you really want it. It's like, maybe you don't. Maybe you just think you should because other people do. Maybe you actually want something else. Maybe, it's kind of like this, sort of like letting all of those bits sort of fall away, and see what's really there. It's getting quiet, right? And like really being present with that. I love, in talking about, I've started to change the, if it feels good to it feels right. It doesn't always feel comfortable. It doesn't always feel good per se, but deep down there'll be a feeling of like a rightness, Yeah. And that's neither feeling good or feeling anything. It's kind of a neutral, almost, for me, it's like, wow, I was going to say certainty, but no, because that word has a lot of garbage in it too. Just right. It just feels right. Settled. Feels settled, even though there's things to do that might be uncomfortable. I'm very hot right now.
I think bless you. I think for me there's something there about pausing, because I think as we do move towards something new, or something that's a challenge, or something that's a growth area for us, which often is the authentic thing, and the predictable BS comes up and then there's this fear in the body of some description, for me, that's when the pausing is so important, to just allow yourself to just have that emotion, to be with it, to observe it in a very, almost, I often say, like a childlike way, just naming the, oh yeah, my stomach feels all jelly and my knees feel a bit wobbly, and it just very gentle kind of noticing of the sensations in the body without getting into the kind of traditional labels for those sensations. Just the sort of how a child would say, how a child describes how they're not feeling okay. They have very simple language about it because they haven't got all those labels yet. And when we do that, I think it just draws us back into the present moment, because that's where we can really answer that question about, like, what is authentic for us, what is the right next step, is from the present moment, not with the stories about where it's going to lead and what it's going to do, but just this sort of, oh yeah, that just feels right. Just feels, yeah, it just feels right. Like you said. Yeah. We can set, I think, I find if I get kind of overwhelmed often about something, then if I sit with that feeling, it just sort of, it settles itself, really. And then I feel inspired to move forward again with the thing, whatever it was.
Nice. Yeah. Cool.
Thank you. That was a good one.
Thank you too.
Yeah.
Very nice. My skin is burning.
I can see you. Bless you. Yeah. Oh, not nice.
Flashes, hot flashes. Yeah. It's good. I have time for that, obviously.
Yeah, so your body says so. Maybe you need time for this, like a cold bucket of water at the end.
Yeah, this is good. Thank you, Claire. Appreciate your perspective.
Take care. Thank you.
You
Bye.
too. Ciao.
Bye.
Hey, thank you for being a part of Navigating Life with Ease. We'd love to hear your feedback and receive a review on your favorite podcast platform. This will help others who'd also like more ease in their life to find us. We're here to support you, so if you've any words you'd like us to explore or you have a question, please reach out to us at navigatinglifewithease@gmail.com. Again, thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more episodes of Navigating Life with Ease.